I want to start by telling you this is not one of those that talks about live below your means if you want to build wealth type of video. This is not about people with inheritance or being born into the right family. This is no secret stock tip, crypto coin, or real estate hack that only insiders know about. This is a video about behavior. Specifically, the boring, repeatable daily and weekly habits that show up again and again in research on people who build genuine wealth, not people who inherited it, not people who got lucky once, but people who systematically accumulated it over time, frequently starting from very ordinary circumstances. Researchers have actually studied this. Thomas Stanley, who spent over 2 decades surveying American millionaires for his research, found something that should genuinely surprise you. The vast majority of self-made millionaires in his research were not extraordinary earners. They were extraordinarily consistent in a small number of specific behaviors, repeated for decades, that compound into outcomes that look from the outside like luck or genius. Today we are breaking down 8 of those habits. Some will sound obvious. A few will genuinely surprise you. All 8, done together and done consistently, explain more about wealth building than almost anything else we could discuss. I will throw in the practical step for you for each step, which should help you start rolling. Hit like and subscribe, let's go. Habit 1, they treat their income as a starting point, not a finish line. Here is the habit that everything else on this list depends on, so we start here. Wealthy people in study after study do not treat a raise, a bonus, or a salary increase as new spending money. They treat it as new investing money. This single distinction, what happens to your income the moment it increases, separates people who accumulate wealth from people who simply accumulate nicer stuff. The behavioral trap this habit avoids is called lifestyle inflation, the well-documented tendency for spending to rise in lockstep with income, such that a person earning $150,000 often feels just as financially stretched as they did earning $60,000, because their car, their housing, their subscriptions, and their general consumption quietly scaled up to match. A study published in the Journal of Consumer Research found that for every $1 increase in income, the average American increases spending by approximately 80 to 90 cents, meaning only 10 to 20 cents of every additional dollar earned actually gets saved or invested for most people. Wealthy individuals in wealth-building research consistently flip this ratio, often saving or investing 50% or more of every raise, while allowing only a modest portion to improve their actual lifestyle. The practical version of this habit: the next time your income increases, a raise, a bonus, a side hustle that takes off, before you adjust your spending at all, commit at least half of that increase directly to savings or investments, automatically, before your lifestyle has a chance to expand into it. Habit 2, they know their numbers, all of them. This habit sounds unglamorous, and it is, which is probably why most people skip it entirely. People who build wealth typically know with reasonable precision their net worth, their monthly spending by category, their savings rate, and their investment returns. Not vaguely. Specifically, they could tell you these numbers roughly without checking, because they review them regularly. This stands in stark contrast to the general population. A 2022 survey by the National Financial Educators Council found that 65% of American adults could not correctly estimate their own monthly spending within a 20% margin of error when asked directly. Most people are, quite literally, flying blind through their own financial life, making decisions without an accurate picture of their actual situation. The reason this matters so much is that you cannot optimize what you do not measure. A person who does not know they are spending $380 a month on subscriptions, dining out, and impulse purchases combined cannot make an informed decision about whether that spending aligns with their goals. Compare to a person who tracks it, even loosely, even with a simple monthly 15-minute review rather than obsessive daily tracking, can generally tell you how much they spend in a month. The practical version: pick one day a month, set a recurring calendar reminder, and spend 15 minutes reviewing your total spending, your net worth, and your progress toward whatever savings or investment target you have set. This single habit, according to financial behavior research, is one of the strongest predictors of long-term wealth accumulation, independent of income level, because it converts vague financial anxiety into specific, actionable information. Habit 3, they automate the boring decisions. Here is a habit that sounds almost too simple to include on a list like this, and yet it might be the single highest leverage one. Wealthy individuals remove themselves from the decision of whether to save and invest. They do not decide every 2 weeks whether this paycheck is a good one to put money toward their future. They set up automatic transfers once, and then the decision is made permanently in advance by their past self, and they don't have to deal with this again, regardless how they feel when the paycheck comes. This connects to a well-documented psychological phenomenon called decision fatigue. The finding, popularized by psychologist Roy Baumeister's research, that the quality of a person's decisions measurably declines the more decisions they have already made in a given period. By the time most people reach their financial decisions at the end of a long day full of smaller choices, their capacity for disciplined decision-making is depleted. Automation solves this elegantly by removing the decision entirely. Research from the National Bureau of Economic Research found that automated savings plans produce savings rates 81% higher than manual, intention-based saving. A statistic worth sitting with, because it means the gap between people who build wealth and people who do not is mostly just a function of who automated the boring decision and who left it to daily willpower. The practical version: every account that should receive regular contributions, emergency savings, retirement accounts, investment accounts, should have an automatic transfer scheduled on or near payday, requiring zero ongoing decisions from you. Habit 4: they invest in assets, not liabilities that look like assets. This habit requires understanding one simple, but genuinely useful distinction that most people never have explained to them clearly. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket over time: a stock, a rental property, a business, an investment account. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket over time: a car loan, most consumer debt, anything that costs you money to own and maintain without generating income or appreciating reliably. The habit wealthy people consistently demonstrate is prioritizing the purchase of assets over the purchase of liabilities that are dressed up to look impressive. What an earlier conversation in this series called Big Hat, No Cattle. A car is the textbook example. The average new car loses approximately 20% of its value in the first year and roughly 60% over 5 years, according to data from Carfax and various automotive industry sources, meaning a $40,000 new car is typically worth around $16,000 within 5 years, while simultaneously costing money in loan interest, insurance, and depreciation the entire time. This does not mean wealthy people never buy cars or never spend on lifestyle. It means the sequencing matters. Buy assets first, let them generate returns, and fund lifestyle purchases from a position of financial strength rather than financing them with debt that competes directly against your wealth-building goals. A useful mental filter the research suggests: before a major purchase, ask whether this specific dollar amount, if invested instead, would meaningfully move you toward financial independence, and make the purchase decision with that trade-off consciously in mind, rather than ignored entirely. Habit 5: they surround themselves with financially disciplined people. This is the habit that sounds the most like something out of a self-help seminar, and yet it has genuine, measurable research behind it. A well-known study following the Framingham Heart Study population over several decades found that financial behaviors, including spending habits and savings rates, spread through social networks in patterns remarkably similar to how health behaviors and even obesity spread, with researchers finding that a person's financial habits were measurably influenced by the financial habits of their close social circle, even after accounting for income. The mechanism is not mysterious. If your closest friends regularly suggest expensive dinners, frequent vacations, and constant upgrades, the social pressure to keep pace, even unconsciously, is significant and constant. If your closest friends are financially disciplined, frugal in specific intentional ways, and openly discuss investing and saving, that becomes the normalized baseline you measure yourself against instead. This habit is not about abandoning relationships or judging people for their spending choices. It is about being intentional regarding whose financial habits you are absorbing by proximity, and seeking out relationships or communities where financial discipline and goal-oriented behavior are openly discussed and modeled, rather than treated as awkward or taboo subjects. Habit 6: they treat their health as a financial asset. This habit surprises people every time, because it does not initially sound like a finance topic at all. But it is. Wealthy individuals, in numerous studies on the lifestyle habits of high-net-worth populations, disproportionately prioritize sleep, exercise, and preventive healthcare compared to the general population, not purely for aesthetic or longevity reasons, but because they understand, often explicitly, that their health is directly tied to their earning capacity and their decision-making quality. The financial logic here is straightforward once stated plainly. The Centers for Disease Control estimates that chronic diseases linked substantially to lifestyle factors account for the majority of the nation's $4.1 trillion in annual healthcare spending. Beyond direct medical costs, poor health drives missed workdays, reduced cognitive performance, and in serious cases, the kind of medical emergencies that can derail even a well-constructed financial plan entirely. Research published in the Journal of Labor Economics found a measurable wage premium associated with regular exercise. Workers who exercised consistently earned, on average, several percentage points more than otherwise comparable workers who did not, a finding researchers attribute to improved energy, cognitive function, and workplace performance rather than any direct causal mechanism from exercise itself. The practical version: treat sleep, movement, and preventive medical care not as competing priorities against your financial goals, but as direct inputs into your capacity to earn, think clearly, and sustain the other 7 habits on this list over the long run that wealth building actually requires. Habit 7: they negotiate everything. This habit is uncomfortable for most people, which is precisely why it is so underused and so valuable. Wealthy individuals consistently negotiate salaries, major purchases, service contracts, interest rates, fees, rather than accepting the first number presented to them as fixed and final. This is not about being difficult or adversarial. It is about recognizing that most initial offers, across nearly every domain of commerce, contain built-in room for negotiation that simply goes unclaimed by people unwilling to ask. A survey by Salary.com found that only 37% of people always negotiate their salary, while 18% never negotiate at all. And among those who do negotiate, the average successful negotiation results in a 7% to 14% higher starting salary than the initial offer. Compounded over a career, through raises calculated as percentages of an already higher base, this single habit alone can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars in lifetime earnings. The habit extends beyond salary. A study by Consumer Reports found that the majority of people who negotiated a lower price on a major purchase, furniture, appliances, even medical bills, succeeded in getting some reduction, often without significant effort, simply by asking the question directly: is this the best price you can offer? The practical version: before accepting any significant financial offer, a job offer, a major purchase, a service contract, even a medical bill, ask, at minimum once, whether there is room for negotiation. The downside of asking is mild, momentary discomfort. The upside, compounded over a lifetime of transactions, is substantial. Habit 8: they think in decades, not months. The final habit is, in many ways, the umbrella that holds all the others together. Wealthy individuals, across nearly every study on the topic, consistently demonstrate what researchers call a longer time horizon: the practical ability to delay gratification and evaluate decisions based on outcomes years or decades away, rather than primarily on how a decision feels this week or this month. The classic illustration of this concept comes from the famous Stanford marshmallow experiment, conducted by psychologist Walter Mischel beginning in the late 1960s, which found that children able to delay gratification, resisting 1 marshmallow now in favor of 2 marshmallows later, showed measurably better life outcomes decades later, including in financial domains, than children who could not delay gratification, even after researchers accounted for it. In financial terms, this translates directly into the willingness to accept short-term sacrifice, automated savings that reduce spending money today, a less impressive car, a smaller apartment than income alone might justify, in exchange for outcomes that will not be visible or rewarding for years. A portfolio that compounds at 7% annually produces almost imperceptible year-to-year change in its early years, but produces dramatic life-altering change over a 20 or 30-year horizon. And the habit of staying committed through the unrewarding early years, when the spreadsheet barely seems to be moving, is precisely what separates people who eventually reach significant wealth from people who abandon the plan during the slow, unglamorous middle. The practical version: when evaluating a financial decision, explicitly ask not just how does this feel today, but how will this look in 10 years, in 20 years? This single reframing question, applied consistently, naturally steers decisions in the direction every other habit on this list reinforces. Okay, let's run through the 8 one final time. 1. Treat income increases as investing money, not spending money. 2. Know your numbers, net worth, spending, savings rate with actual precision. 3. Automate the boring decisions so willpower is never the deciding factor. 4. Prioritize assets that generate money over liabilities disguised as status symbols. 5. Be intentional about whose financial habits you are absorbing through proximity. 6. Treat your health as a direct financial asset, not a separate concern. 7. Negotiate. Almost everything has more room than the first offer suggests. 8. Think in decades, not months, and let time horizon guide every financial decision you make. Here is what I want you to notice about this entire list. Not one of these 8 habits requires a high income to begin practicing today. A person earning $40,000 a year can automate their savings, know their numbers, negotiate their next purchase, and think in decades just as readily as a person earning $400,000. Income accelerates the results. It does not create the habits, and it certainly does not substitute for them, which is precisely why so many high earners remain financially fragile, and so many modest earners, practicing these 8 habits consistently for decades, end up wealthier than people who out-earn them every single year along the way. The habits are not complicated. They were never meant to be. They are simply consistent, repeated, unglamorous, and, given enough time, genuinely transformative. Hope you enjoy this video. Hit like and subscribe. See you in the next one.